who has piercings or tattoos knows, like, you get a piercing, now you want another one. You get a tattoo, you want to get another one. We're getting a new ear piercing today, so I'm going to take you guys along with me. I'm getting my conch pierced. So I already have, this is called a Daith piercing. I have 3 lobes. I have one here that I don't have an earring in, one here as well, which are both cartilage. So what I'm piercing today actually goes right there. So it's going to start off as a stud, and then later on I add a hoop to it so that it looks like it's sort of stretching over my whole ear. And I've wanted it for a really, really long time. Oh my god, a black cat, look. Do you see him? He's literally staring me down as I make this video. But I'm gonna hop on the highway. It's not a super long drive, it's just the traffic in certain areas and then trying to find parking. It's like, turn this down. Okay, so I'm here now. I don't know if they're gonna let me get my piercing because I'm very late. So if I missed it, I missed it, whatever. But we'll see. If they let me get it, that'd be nice of them. If not, I guess we'll just do some beauty shopping today and go back home. That's all. That's the way you work that one. Scissors grandma voice.
My lease so I can move, cause you a bugaboo. I wanna put your number on the call block. FAOL, make my email stop, cause you a bugaboo. You bugging what you bugging, who you bugging me, and don't you see it ain't cool. It's not hot that you be calling me, stressing me, paging my beat, but you're just non-stop. And it's not hot that you be leaving me messages every 10 minutes and then you stop by.
But yeah, so these are titanium choices. A lot of people usually get these on their conches because they literally look like a shell.
Right.
But you can choose literally whatever you want.
I think I want to go for the white hearts.
Yeah.
That is a heart, right?
Yeah, it kind of is. So we're gonna mark that space up together.
Okay.
And then decide on which best suited for your anatomy. But we can definitely go a little upper. You know?
I kind of like that one. Can I see the bigger one?
Yeah, of course.
The other one might be too big now. That's cute too.
Yeah. What do you have on your other ear? Let me see.
On this one I have a Rook. The other side is the Daith.
Yeah. Yeah, you have a great ear anatomy actually.
Thank you.
But yeah, I mean you can do 2 different and you know, spice it up.
I kind of like the big one. Can I see the small one again?
Of course.
I think I'm gonna go with this small one. Okay, choose I like
small
this one. Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. So I'll go grab those and I'll grab you when the room's all set up, okay?
Okay, thank you.
When I first met you, you were cool, but it was game, you had me fooled. Cause 20 minutes after I gave you my number, you already had my mailbox full. So what? I got a better but now
Okay guys, so it is now 1 week after my piercing. I wanted to check in to let you know how it went. Number one, I feel like I'm a pretty seasoned person when it comes to tattoos, piercings. Like, I have some interesting piercings, so I wasn't afraid of the pain, really. I've gotten my Daith piercing before. I've gotten my Rook piercing before. Both of them had very long healing times, so I wasn't really feeling unprepared about getting a conch piercing. And that is another reason I went for getting both of them at the same time. I'm not new to this. I'm true to this, so I got 2. So for multiple reasons, I couldn't vlog my actual appointment when I got inside the room. I chose a titanium earring because titanium has a very, almost impossible for it to get infected in your ear. If you go for 14 karat or 24 karat gold for a piercing, it's a little bit tricky to have that as your first set of jewelry in a wound because there's a high chance of it irritating you or your body not reacting to it well. So I went with titanium, which is basically a surgical metal. So I felt very safe with having these earrings in my ear for the next 9 months. So boom, after we finished choosing the jewelry, you guys saw her help me figure out which one would look best. We actually marked out the location that I wanted to get it pierced at. The most common place to get your conch piercing is down here, closer to where I have my 3rd lobe. A conch piercing is commonly placed right there. But for me, I knew I wanted it a little bit higher up on my ear because I wanted it to be right across from the piercing that I have on this side, and I wanted it to be right here underneath where I have a piercing on this side. So for that reason, I didn't want it placed so low in my ear, so I asked them to bring it up a little higher. They agreed, and they said that that would look great based on my ear anatomy. Another reason they were okay with me placing it so high up on my ear is because soon I would love to change this stud to a hoop. And when you put a hoop in an earring like this, naturally it's not just going to sit perpendicular like this all the time. It's actually going to fall a little bit downwards when it's in a resting position. So what would happen is if I were to place it right here and I later on want to change it to a hoop, once that hoop is in a relaxed position, it would sag down onto my other piercings, and I didn't want it to look like a huge cluster, so that's why I asked her to place it higher up in the ear. Another big thing for me is that I wanted my piercings to be visible from the front view. For my Daith and my Rook, you cannot tell that I have these pierced unless I turn my head to the side. And even when it's like this, you can barely tell. You can really only tell when I completely rotate to the side, and then you're like, oh, you have an earring there. But for my conch, I really wanted it to be visible from the front view so that if I'm like this, you can already see that I have a piercing right here, or if I'm slightly turned this way, you can already see that I have a piercing right here. So I wanted it from the front view for you to be able to see conch piercing, hoops. So you just want to take into consideration, how do you want it to look from the front? How do you want your earring to look from the side? What jewelry will you be changing it to later on once the piercing is healed? Once you think about all of that and let your piercer know, they will definitely be able to recommend a perfect placement for you. So I was just chilling, and then she pushed the needle through, and I was so surprised at how much it did not hurt. When I got this Daith piercing here, it didn't hurt, but I heard a really loud crunch when it went through, and then there was blood running down the side of my neck as soon as I got this Daith pierce. But for this conch piercing that I just got done, I was so surprised. There was no blood. You guys saw I wore a white outfit to go get my piercing. There was no blood there. I didn't hear any crunch or a pop how I usually do. Like, it literally felt like less painful than an earlobe piercing. I don't know why. I don't know if maybe we have more nerves in our ear lobes than we do in this sort of empty canal part of our ear, but I don't know how to describe it, but it did not hurt nearly as much as I thought it would. I thought that it would at least be a similar pain level to the Daith that I have, but not at all. I was really surprised. So if you're considering getting either a Daith, a Rook, or your conch, I would say the Daith would be not the most painful, but the loudest crunch. The Rook is going to be not much of a crunch, but a little painful. And the conch is like a safe bet. You're fine if you want to get that done. I would honestly say that if you have only lobe piercings and no other cartilage, a conch is going to hurt you even less than like my cartilage piercing up here hurt me. Because I got this one done up here with a piercing gun, which, as you know, is so outdated. But I got it done at the mall, and it hurts so much more than me piercing this thick ass piece of cartilage in my ear. I don't know how to describe it, but it didn't hurt as much as I thought it would. So then, as far as expectations go, like after the piercing, I expected it to feel very red hot and swollen for the rest of the day and for the rest of the week even, because that's usually how it is when you get a piercing. Like every once in a while it'll be a random part throughout the day and your ears would just be on fire because it's technically a wound. Like you are purposely self-inflicting a wound just to look pretty. And I was really surprised because I have had these piercings for a week now, and it doesn't often feel like they're as fresh as they are, which is strange because again, this is such a thick part of my cartilage that I really expected this to be the most painful one I've ever done, and that's why I procrastinated getting it so long. The only aftercare that I have to do is I have this piercing aftercare spray. So all I have to do is literally sit just like this and spray my ear just like this. I just have to sort of like blast it with the solution. And same on the other side. And then I do it from the back as well, one time each. They said not to touch it, don't twist it, don't try to use a cotton swab to clean around it because then you can get cotton bits stuck in the jewelry. So they literally said for the next 4 weeks, don't touch it at all. The only time I should be in contact with this earring is when I'm spraying this onto it from a distance. So very easy aftercare, because I remember when I got my lobes done, they were like, you're gonna spray it, you're gonna take a Q-tip, you're gonna clean around the jewelry, you're gonna go in the back of it and you're gonna twist the jewelry around to make sure that it can move and make sure it doesn't have any crusties on it. And I was like, okay. Like, honestly, my lobe piercings and my cartilage that I've gotten done at other places has been way more maintenance so far than what they told me to do with these. So it's kind of nice, because I was kind of apprehensive about going through that whole process again of the piercing aftercare and the having to sleep carefully, and it's been really easy so far. I'll keep you guys posted though. And that is all for this little informational new piercing vlog. It's about that time to get a new tattoo soon. So, yeah, that's going to be another vlog coming soon. But for now, thank you guys for watching. Come back next week for another episode of Rich Recent Beauty, and next month for a whole new season of Fine Beauty Bible. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and let me know if you get any piercings anytime soon.